Today we're going to talk about a force that is, and I mean this literally, holding our entire world together. But here's the thing, most of us never even notice it. We're diving into the incredible and often totally invisible world of welding.
So just take a second and think about it. What is that one thing that keeps a massive skyscraper from falling over? Or your car in one piece? Or, an airplane together when it's cruising miles above the Earth? It's a pretty simple question, right? But the answer is, well, it's everywhere.
You got it, it's welding. It is the invisible glue, the silent, unsung hero of just about everything we build. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see just how critical this craft is, from the ground right beneath our feet all the way to the rockets shooting for the stars.
All right, so let's start close to home. Let's look at the places where welding is the absolute backbone of our day-to-day lives. I'm talking about the steel beams inside our tallest buildings, the massive trusses that hold up our bridges, even the pipelines that bring energy to our homes. All of it relies on welding for its fundamental strength. Take that away, and our cities, they would literally fall apart.
And if you want to talk about scale, just look at the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building. Its steel framework needed tens of thousands of perfect individual welds to hold it all together. This isn't just some small-time repair work. This is absolutely monumental engineering.
But here's a key thing to remember. Not all welding is the same. You have to pick the right tool for the right job. For example, if you're working outdoors on a skyscraper, you might use something called flex-cord arc welding because it's way more resistant to wind. It's a seriously skilled craft where every single detail counts.
Okay, now let's switch gears. Think about your car. That frame that's designed to protect you in a crash? Welded. The exhaust system? Welded. Key parts of the engine? Yep, welded. A modern car is basically held together by thousands of incredibly precise welds.
And to make cars that fast and that consistently, the auto industry leans heavily on robots. Over 60% of the welding is automated. It's really the perfect example of how technology and welding have teamed up to make things safer and more efficient than we could have ever imagined. So we've seen it in our cities, in our cars, but now let's raise the stakes. We're moving into industries where just one bad weld isn't just a mistake, it could be an absolute catastrophe.
In the world of aerospace, there's no room for error. Perfection is the only standard. The welds on a plane's airframe have to handle constant, brutal pressure changes. On a jet engine, they have to survive unimaginable heat. And on a fuel system, you have absolutely zero tolerance for a leak. Not one drop. And if that wasn't hard enough, think about the materials they're using. We're talking about advanced stuff like titanium and other superalloys. They're incredibly strong, yeah, but they are notoriously difficult to work with, often needing super specialized techniques to get the job done right.
And you know who's pushing the limits of this right now? SpaceX. Building rockets that can be reused, well, that presents a whole new set of problems that old-school welding just can't solve. So they use this really innovative technique called friction stir welding, especially on their fuel tanks. Now get this, instead of melting the metal together, this method uses intense friction and pressure to basically stir the materials together while they're still solid. The result is a bond that is way, way stronger and more reliable.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. NASA actually studied this and found that these bonds can be up to 30% stronger than what you get from traditional welding. When you're talking about a rocket full of fuel, that's a total game changer.
And you see this same need for extreme durability all over the place. Think about ships, whose hulls have to fight off constant corrosion from salt water, or oil pipelines running through the frozen Arctic, or heavy construction equipment that has to endure non-stop vibration. Welding is the hero in all those stories too.
Okay, so it's pretty clear welding is essential now. But what's next? This ancient craft is being completely transformed by some seriously cool technology. Let's look at what's coming.
One of the most mind-blowing frontiers is what's called additive manufacturing. You can basically think of it as 3D printing, but with metal. You take a digital design, and a welding tool just builds the part, from the ground up, one layer at a time. This is a huge deal for creating complex parts on demand. And then there's the rise of smart welding. Just imagine this. You have AI-powered sensors that are watching every single weld as it's being made, checking its quality in real time. We're even developing systems that use data to predict when and where a failure might happen before it actually does. So what's the payoff? Well, it's massive. These smart systems could cut down on weld failure rates by as much as 25%,
We're talking safer buildings, safer cars, safer planes, all because we're using data in a smarter way. And finally, the industry is also getting cleaner. There's a big push for green welding, which focuses on using more sustainable materials and power sources with lower emissions. It's all about making sure this essential craft has a more environmentally friendly future.
So, let's wrap this all up. We've seen how welding builds our cities, gets us from place to place, and even helps us reach for the stars.
When you really boil it down, welding is this amazing craft of strength and precision that quietly makes human progress possible. It's what keeps our world running safely and securely every single day.
So the next time you walk into a building or get on a plane or even just drive your car down the street, take a second and remember, you are surrounded by the silent, powerful craftsmanship of welders.
And that really leaves us with a final thought. Now that you see welding everywhere, it just makes you wonder, with all these new, smarter and stronger techniques being invented, what incredible things are we going to build next?